Well, how's it going? I got another shoe review. Last one I did was for the CDs, and I still got those shoes, but I don't wear them as much. Last year, I went in for a fitting, and we did some changes, and I ended up buying 2 pairs of shoes. And at that time, I bought a pair of Specialized Recon shoes. These are for mountain bike. And then I bought a pair of the, well, they're both Recon. I think one of them was Recon. I'm not sure if last year was SLs or not. Anyhow, those shoes felt good, but they were really stiff. The uppers were stiff, and I saw a lot of other people kind of having some complaints about the uppers biting into their ankle or just really being tough to break in. People were talking about how they were getting them wet and then putting them on, and just all kinds of different things to try to get them to be more comfortable. I just wore them until they got to the point where they started feeling pretty good, and wore them for a while. Fit really well. And so, looking to get into another pair of shoes, Specialized introduced their new Recon SLs, these shoes. And I have issues with my feet, always have, so I'm always looking for a shoe that fits really well. It gives me the kind of performance I want. These are strictly pretty much a cross-country race shoe slash, almost a gravel shoe at this point. The uppers on these are very comfortable. Don't know what they're made of, but they're also very flexible. But they fit totally different than the past Recons. There's none of the biting, there's none of the bunching, there's none of the hard spots. These things feel like a slipper. And at first, I didn't know if I was gonna like that or not. Going from the CDs, and even going from the last Recons, the CDs and the last Recons almost gave like a more of a support around the foot, whereas these basically just hug them. And as you can see, I got the white ones, and I don't know if that was the greatest thing to do, wearing them as a mountain bike shoe, because they do get dirty. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see that, but like inside around the boa dial, inside the boa strap, you got some dirt left over. Inside the tongue, it gets dirty. But for the most part, the outside stays very, very clean. Now, there's one thing that I usually do when I get back from riding. If they're very dirty, there's 2 things I've found that I can use. One's a foaming carpet cleaner. And basically what I'll do is I'll have them still on my feet, and I'll just spray them down with foaming carpet cleaner, let it sit, and maybe take a toothbrush and scrub some of the areas that need extra attention, and then wipe them off, and that's been great. That's kept a lot of stuff, kept them clean. Another thing you can do is use scrubbing bubbles foam spray, and it'll do the same thing. I run at this point the Retool heat molded insoles, and get a buddy of mine to make those for me, and they seem to do pretty well. The one thing that I end up having to do when I wear these shoes is I barely turn the dial past the point of just taking the slack out of the boa. I don't wrench them down. If I wrench them down, my feet just go crazy. They start to hurt. Dog in the back. If I keep them loose or just barely clicked in to take the slack out, I've done 3+ hour mountain bike rides, no issues. And that's something that just recently came about for me where I just said, I got to do something. I was having issues. I'd get to the 2-hour mark and I just could not go farther. My feet were hurting so bad. Now I don't have that issue. So far, if you pardon the dirt, but the bottoms, it's very minimum. You know, you got your lugs here, lugs here, lugs here. I wouldn't say this is the greatest shoe in the world to walk in because it does not flex. This shoe is like, on the stiffness scale, is off the charts, which I like. Coming from road background, this feels fine for me. I've never been in a situation where I felt like I wanted a shoe that I could run in. So that being said, the bottom does kind of take a little bit of a beating, you know, getting into your pedals, but it hadn't been bad. I mean, it's held up pretty good. There's a little bit of a rubber strip right here that kind of helps out. And I'm surprised at the upper and how durable it's been, even though how flexible it is and how conformed it gets to your foot. It's held up great. There's some little bit of scratching right here. Not a lot across the toe. The toe's got a little bit of reinforcing, feels almost like hard plastic rubber there, and so does the heel, around the heel. The heel cup is great. It almost looks like it would be too big. They've changed the way these shoes are shaped. Almost looks like it'd be too big, but even at the minimum amount of dial pressure that I put into them, they don't move. And I wear thin socks. They don't move. Been very pleased with that. The one thing, and I would say anybody thinking about buying some of these shoes, comfort-wise, I don't think you can beat these shoes. These shoes are great. I like the minimalist graphics. I do like the white. Even on a mountain bike, I like the white. I would go with another color though, just to have a second pair, and I may do that. If you're gonna buy these, go ahead and buy you some more boas. As you can see, this is a different color than this one. Same thing here. This happened today on this shoe. I don't know if it's an inherent design with this boa cable. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if something catches, something hits it. It may, because they actually sit across the top of your foot right here, so they do get hit. But I've had to replace 2 boas already. And the one thing about these shoes, and I don't know if there's a way to do it, but when they come with the boa laced through the top of the tongue, through these 2 holes. But I could not find a way to take the cable here out of the new boa and lace it through. But really it doesn't change much. The shoe still fits the same. It's just that the tongue may move a little bit, but I haven't had that issue. They're pretty well perforated. They're ultra lightweight, and I've had other shoes. The Lake shoes come to mind. I had a pair of those. Still got them. I got them somewhere. I don't know. I don't get rid of shoes. The Lakes felt like they would last forever. The uppers on those are very thick. The bottoms are very thick, and they've got a lot of walking surface, but they are heavy, and they're heavy when you compare them to something like this. This shoe is crazy light, and I like that. And it may be a placebo. I don't know. To me, it just feels like everything's spinning faster when I'm wearing these. And like I said, I may be completely wrong there. So anyhow, that's just a quick review of these. I'm not sponsored by Specialized at all. I buy these, and I'll probably buy another pair. And matter of fact, I'm actually thinking about getting another pair now, because these are starting to do this. I'd like to just have a pair on hand, maybe once these wear out. As far as how long I've been riding these, if I had to guess, I'd say at least a season so far, at least. So we're coming up on October, and I think I had these last year about that same time. So we're probably pushing a year, and you know, this is all I've had to do is replace this boa. So anyhow, there you go. Comment down below if you've got them, if you like them, what you think. We'll have some more of these coming review wise, you know, as I get to them. Got 2 bikes that I'm working with right now. I may have had the video on here about that, the Stunt Jumper Evo and my Epic Evo. Just got the Epic Evo back from the shop. The fork had to have a complete rebuild, and I think it was something from the factory. It didn't even, it wasn't working right from the beginning. So I'm hoping that new fork rebuild is going to make that bike come alive some more. The Stumpy Evo has been great. It's a little funky on the climbs for me, because I'm used to being able to just like zip climbs. The Stumpy Evo doesn't do that, but it's one of those bikes to where, like, if you keep pedaling, you just keep going up the climb. You're not going to go up it fast. Whereas, you know, some other bikes I've felt faster, but I think I pretty well got the position dialed in on that thing now to where it feels great. And that's the one recently that I've been doing the longer rides on. So stay tuned. There'll be some more updates on those. May also have another bike in the future coming. I'm contemplating whether or not I want to do another build. If so, I'll put it on here. So anyway, thanks.